Votez Corée!
Guy Code with Rena Osare.
Welcome to another episode of Guy Code. Now on this episode, I'm joined by my friend Lucas here. Lucas, how's it going?
Good, bro. How are you?
I'm doing good. Guy Code is happy to have you here. So,
Thank you, man. Happy to be here as well.
on this episode, we're going to talk about getting the girl. You know, and being a guy, every hero usually gets the girl, and the girl is the prize item in every guy's life, even in movies, even in anything. Apart from money, it's the girl. So, Lucas, you've been in a couple of relationships, and today we're going to talk about how to get the girl, how to, the kind of girl you should get, and we're just going to have a conversation as guys at the Guy Code as usual. So, the first thing, let's get into it, is like getting the girl. First, what attracts you to the girl you want to pursue? What's the first thing, like, you know what, that's the kind of girl I want to have?
Well, I guess I'd say it depends
Uh-huh.
on what exactly I'm trying to get out of this woman. Because for me, sex is attitude.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I really like how a woman carries herself. I feel like that is what gets me like, okay, you know what, I need to go. I like this chick.
So it's like, oh, the way she walk, or you're like,
Exactly.
oh, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah. But I mean, of course, there's the whole the first aspect, which is what you see.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and that varies from man to man. You like what you like, but for sure, sexy is attitude for me, and that's big.
So it's just how you carry yourself,
How you talk, how you it's just I can't even explain it, to be honest. It's just it's an attitude. It's how you dress, how you do you.
Yeah, so it's the whole package for you.
Exactly.
You have to have the whole package. So it's not like you see some chick, with some, like, maybe really nice hair, really nice eyes, you're like, oh, I'd like to hit
Like
up
that plays
a part, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. I feel like that's surface level, and you'll be like that's enough to get me to tell you, hey, check her out. Yeah, but for me to go and pursue,
Yeah.
it's all about attitude, how she carries herself, how she talks, how she dresses. That's big.
So I think just definitely it happens to most men. I think what you're saying, and I also agree with it, because how you carry yourself, sexiness is attitude. Because you can have a really pretty face, but there's some chicks that you're like, okay, she's pretty, but I'll just admire from here.
Exactly.
So by the time you make the choices, like, okay, let me go holla, see what she's about, she has to have that thing here to, okay, I better stop what I'm doing and find out.
Exactly. It's a sort of aura that makes you come correct,
Or aura.
Exactly.
That's
Exactly.
Guy Code with Rena Osare.
Aura. That's a big one.
big one.
It's a big one. But it's true. It's true. Cause that's how you find the girl that you want to pursue.
Exactly.
So talking about beauty, you said sexiness is an attitude. Let's go to the second thing. Is that there's this quote that says beauty isn't just skin deep. How do you feel about that? Is it that chicks can say that I should be able to carry myself how I carry myself? I don't have to have all these what you men like the models having, and you should accept me for who I am. So what do you think about that? Is it that beauty isn't only skin deep, and we should just totally neglect that and focus maybe on the attitude, as you were saying?
Well, I mean, like I said, the looks are surface level.
Yeah.
That's what will have you looking at someone. But when it comes to actually recognizing beauty in someone, I feel like you need to have some sort of interaction, Like for me personally, I feel like brains are a big part of beauty.
Brains are.
Yeah, because like when we're on a Sunday morning, when we're in our sweats after eating breakfast, it's about the conversation, and that's what will have you going like, damn, okay, she's beautiful. It's not just surface level.
Yeah.
Even though it does play a part.
Yeah. So definitely what you're saying is factual, because you know, it's easy to notice a curvaceous woman. Everyone will notice a curvaceous woman. Like, hey, yo, I mean, check out that shot.
Guy Code with Rena Osware.
Hey, she's bad thick.
Big time.
But you know, just to get holla at her, that's different because she can look good, but you know, maybe that's how it ends there, and it's nothing more to it.
Yeah.
So I think it's very important. You said beauty isn't just skin deep, but you know, you have to accept that beauty is something that will get us attention.
Exactly.
You know?
I mean, you need to groom yourself as well.
Yeah,
You need
yeah.
To cater to that whole visual stimulation, but beyond that, there's the mental, there's the attitude, like we said.
Yeah.
So there's a lot that goes into beauty.
Yeah. So at least
I feel like maybe sex is visual.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then beautiful is now there's the underlying things that we said.
Well, that's some deep stuff. So at least all the ladies know that, you know, you can't just go out looking drab and just come to look us and like, but then I'm very intelligent.
We can talk.
You can talk.
Don't tell them that.
He's just being polite, I know. Don't try that. So, okay, we've gone to the point that you've recognized the girl.
Yeah.
You've seen how her attitude, you've seen how she carries herself. It's attractive to you. No. Now we're going to the next stage of how do you approach the girl. There are different kind of ways different guys approach the girl. There's some who use, you know, pickup lines. There's some who try to make stupid conversation. Hey, great weather we're having. There's some who, you know, who just go to the point like, hey, yo, give me your number. Give me your number before I lose interest. So, about you, how do you approach a woman? What's your style? What would you say your style is? Are you the kind to take the lead, or just let the cards fall in place? So you're like, this is take advantage.
I feel like the modern woman appreciates a man that takes the lead.
Takes the lead.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't matter if you're feminist or
It doesn't matter. Yeah. I mean, I used to be more laid back in the day.
Yeah.
I was a bit more meek. And maybe if you have a pretty face, you get away with it.
Yeah.
But like coming to uni, you know, there's a lot of women that know exactly what they want. They want a man that will take charge and approach them. It's not just about pretty weather we're having. You go up to a girl and you're like, hey, you look very nice today. You know, I just thought I'd tell you that, or something of the sort. You know, so just for me personally, I take charge. Like I walk up to a girl and tell her that she looks nice, introduce myself, and you know, maybe exchange numbers and see what goes from there.
Yeah. So there's an article I think we both read about the nice guy syndrome.
Yeah.
So just bring into this nice guy syndrome. Do you think it really works in this age? Because as you said that I agree that most women want a man who takes the lead, who you're supposed to show direction. So, you know, if you're kind, you know, does it always work out? There's some guys who will come and tell her the most beautiful things. Oh my gosh, your eyes are the most beautiful things I've ever seen in my life. Yeah. The sun is just brighter around you, something like that. You know? So how do you borderline on that? Do you think the nice guy, you know, can work sometimes? Do women still want that helpless romantic? You know?
Well, I don't really think I can speak for all women. But from my experience, I'd say, well, I mean, we're talking about the nice guy. You draw a contrast with the whole bad boy thing that girls are into. Which I think if a girl has been through a couple of bad boys, she'd appreciate the nice guy more.
Yeah.
Even though every girl at one point in their life wanted a bad boy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, like the whole nice guy thing. Is it, first of all, you need to establish whether it's an act. Like, are you just acting like sunshine and flowers just to get the girl? Because the truth will eventually come out. You know, your true colors will always show. So I think be yourself. If she's for it, she's for it. If she's not, move on.
I think that's what you're saying is very important because, you know, there's some bad boys who just want to bring up the act, but they don't care about that life.
Yeah.
And there's some nice guys who act really nice just for a season.
Yeah.
And once they get what they want, they just bounce.
Exactly.
You know, so I think it's just tough to be authentic because if it's something that is going somewhere, you know, of course, in this age, there's sometimes that you're just trying to create an impression for just a season so that you get to interact in a way that you wanted.
Yeah.
But it reaches a point, if you want it to go long term, you have to be just authentic yourself.
Yeah, true.
So to all the nice guys listening to us, don't worry, people will like you for who you are.
Be yourself.
There's some who might like, offering that you go and watch some romantic movie. Sunset.
No, I've done that, but it's okay.
You've done that. You've done that, eh?
Yeah, but it's all about it.
When you're young?
No, recently.
Guy Code with Rena Osware.
No, but I mean, it's incorporated. Every girl loves a romantic man, yeah?
Yeah.
So it's all about incorporating these aspects of romance into your setup. Girls like it, man.
I think, what you're saying is really nice because, and it's true, it also happens to guys because the time that guys, we want, the big, voluptuous, pretty big boobs, big, behind.
Yeah.
But, you have them for a season and then just good for, just that, a season.
Exactly.
And when that season ends, there's nothing much to her. There's nothing much you can talk about. There's nothing much you can, get to connect with apart from her looks.
Yeah.
And I think it happens to everyone. You can't just say that, just because they're beautiful, just because they're handsome, it will work. There has to be more
More than that, yeah.
will glue you together.
That's true.
So we're talking about the kind of guys, the different nice guys, and bad boys. So talking about chicks, approaching the chick, for guys that are listening, how can you say which is the ideal woman for a guy in your view, or your ideal woman?
I mean, once you've gotten past the looks, because everyone is into different things when it comes to looks.
Yeah.
I'd say a man needs to be challenged, because otherwise it gets, like you said, it gets seasonal, it gets boring. You need a person that challenges how you think, which then stimulates growth. You know, you need a person that challenges how you live your life. And not challenging in like making life hard for this man, but like having the necessary conversations that enable you to take a look at yourself and look at your relationship and the world around you. I feel like every man, I mean, it's all about companionship, even with your friends. You don't just hang out with people who you have nothing in common with, It gets kind of boring. So you need people, first off, with the same interests, someone who challenges you to grow. And man, I feel like, again, this is also very relative. People are into different things, but definitely that's a challenging and the growth and all those nice big ones.
So I've gone to a place where I've also in this discussion that women say that us guys always say that we want this kind of chick, we want the independent chick.
Yeah.
But we don't put ourselves in a position to attract such a chick. We say we want a chick who can pay for her own dates. Buy her own, take herself to the hairdresser. Handles her own business, but it's just because that we don't want to spend as much on them.
Sure.
So since we talk about getting the girl, how would you say that we could attract such a woman? Because you only get what you are.
That's true.
Because there's someone who said you can't be a slop and they expect to have a really fine chick and really who's driven, because the energy you give, you won't attract that kind of person.
That's true.
So I think to attract that kind of people, how would you say that we could attract the kind of person, that the ideal woman we're talking about?
I mean, when we're having a conversation of the ideal woman, you should also take a look at the ideal man.
Yeah.
In as much as this varies from woman to woman, there are certain things that, even as a human being, you should be able to take a look at yourself and determine to become better. Yeah. So you want a woman that is independent and motivated. Are you independent and motivated yourself? Are you just sitting around in the house scrolling through Instagram and Tinder? So I mean, you also need to be the best version of yourself in order to be in a space where you can attract the best kind of woman for you.
Guy Code with Rena Osware.
I think that's really important. So next thing is like many women have been saying that after we get the girl, after we have this lady, she's independent, she's ideal, we've done everything to get her, she's our lady now. There's this thing that most women are saying, that we get to stop being romantic.
Yeah.
We already got what we wanted, she's with us, so we stop, doing the things that, putting in effort, doing the things that made them fall for us in the first place, Maybe we used to work hard because, we want to take them out on dates. Now she's a girl like, hey, yo, I don't feel like going out today.
Just come over.
Yeah, just come over. And she's like, wait, I didn't expect this guy. So what do you think about that? What do you think about when you finally get what you want? You should just slow down.
Well, I feel like people tend to fall into these patterns. Like when a girl is a trophy and then you've already gotten the trophy, you tend to be a bit more lax. It's like when you're training for, say, a marathon, you're working hard up until the marathon, you get it done, and then you're like, okay, now you relax, which isn't good. That's why I think communication is important. A girl should be able to tell you that, hey, we used to go for dates, at least once a week. What's happening now? And as a man, you need to create that sort of space where it's okay to talk about these things and to come to a solution. So it's all about communication, because these things, they happen. You just tend to become a bit more relaxed. But I feel like if you're constantly talking about it and you're willing to change as well, then that's perfect.
What you're saying is true, because I think that once you get on a pattern, that if you want to build on it, you have to keep working it. I think it's like a muscle. Just because you've gotten one, you're stronger than before, you should keep working it, because if you don't, using it will recede.
That's true.
And the foundation you already tried to work so hard on with this girl, it just starts receding if it doesn't, keep working on it, keep putting in effort, and you keep growing to a point that you're like, you're together.
That's true.
And you get into a rhythm for yourselves. So on to the last thing is like, there's this thing that every guy said, behind every successful man is a woman. Is it true? Is it true that finally we've gotten the girl, she's ideal, we're growing into this thing? Does it mean that just because I have this woman that I feel, probably right at this moment, she's the love of my life, does this mean that success will just come because I have someone in my corner? Or if I don't have someone in my corner, maybe for the guys who are listening to this, they're like, what, Rene, I don't think this is the season I'm in. I just want to work on myself first. Does that mean that they won't get to their success easier because they don't have?
Well, I mean, it's always nice to have somebody in your corner, like you said, and like we're talking about earlier, a woman that challenges you to grow. That's very important. I mean, you look at all the power couples, the Barack Obama, Michelle Obama, and you think, man, I want something like that. It's always great to have somebody in your corner, somebody who understands your vision, somebody who helps you get to it, and vice versa as well, because the girl also has the things that she wants to accomplish. But it doesn't mean that if you don't have somebody, you're not exactly going to succeed. I feel like this person in your corner could be your brother, could be your friend, could be your mother. It's not really double or behind every successful man is a woman. There's I can't really name anyone off the top of my head, but I'm sure there's somebody out there who's successful and didn't exactly have a woman behind them. But it's great to have somebody in your corner, somebody who understands your vision, somebody who's going to help you get there.
So I think for all our listeners, for all the guys, I think we've gotten something from this discussion, in that getting the ideal girl and keeping her, and just how that will impact your life. I believe you've gotten the message, and thanks for joining us for this episode called Getting the Girl with Lucas. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me, man. It was amazing.
And this has been Guy Code. See you next time for the next episode. We're out.